Hello there and welcome to Dissertation Diaries. This is part 3 of our literature review how-to. Today what I want to do is show you a little bit about the literature matrix and what to expect in terms of that. Show you how the process works a little bit. To recap, I talked about the different processes that an article goes through in terms of taking it from discovering an article all the way to when it's completely marked up and ready to pop into your literature review. Showed you how to take an article all the way from discovering it through having it marked up and ready to put into the literature matrix. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about the literature matrix and what you can expect in terms of that. So let's get started. What you'll see here is effectively a blank literature matrix. I did this in Apple Numbers, and we have just a few columns. You have the year, you have the type, whether it's an article or a book, APA citation, and the topic. Fill in the topic now if you want, or fill it in later. Get an idea of different topics as you go. I just kind of made up new topics as I went, and I started to see some things fell into a little different category. It's up to you. You'll need to fill in the topic eventually, but later you can fill it in as well as earlier. And the quote, something that came from the article or the book, something that you can use. In this case, this is a book. Oh, that's funny. I wrote it as an article, but this is a book. If it's going to be difficult to find the page, go ahead and put the page number in there as well. That'll be useful later for you to go back and research it. Well, there you have it. That's what a literature matrix looks like. Actually, let me show you what it looks like initially. That's what it looks like initially. Nothing. It's completely blank. That's where you start. When you're done, this is what your literature matrix will look like. You'll have a bunch of categories, and I've got it organized for categories, so I can get rid of that. This is what we saw before with different topics, different quotes, and if you put the category filter on, you can then drill down by different categories. Interdependency versus common ground. As you can see there, I only had one of those. Integration costs. See how many of those I have. Integration costs. I have a handful of articles there. Merger theories. Oh, only one there. I probably should have collapsed that down to something. I probably should have collapsed that into another category. Here we have culture, a handful there. Integration methods, handful there. And you see what I did was I took all this information from a marked up article and put it into here. From here, I'll show you how you can get to a good structure for your literature review. Here's an article that I marked up. It's one that I actually used in my literature review. You see what I did was I went through and I highlighted passages that were relatively useful. I used PDF Plus on an iPad. That seems to work well, but you can do this any number of ways. And in the beginning, there's a lot of literature review pieces in most articles that are not really useful for citing. As you can see as we scroll down here, oh, there was one there. This is one of the pieces that I did. This one had some hypotheses. You have some with a proposal, not a proposal. This is one with a hypothesis. This has hypotheses. You'll see some with propositions. And what I did was I went through and just highlighted them individually and then circled back and wrote whether or not they were supported. If they were, I'd go ahead and use them. Let's go through and look for some more here. Here's another one, hypothesis 2. It had a bunch of sub-pieces. They were all supported. There I highlighted a definition. Here's another one, hypothesis 3. That was supported. Here's another combined hypothesis. A and B were supported. C and D either weren't supported or they were inconclusive. You can see I just went through here and highlighted a handful of things that I thought were useful and were original. I may have to speed this portion up. Well, there's nothing down here. That's what a marked up article looks like.